Delta. We love to fly, and it shows. By Schlitz Malt Liquor. No one does it like the Bull. By Gulf Oil. Try high-octane Gulf Super Unleaded, the latest gasoline breakthrough from Gulf. By Sovereign Bank. Ask your Sovereign banker about the risk-free investment certificate. By Infinity, a new concept in luxury cars. And by Brendel's, the store that wrote the book on low prices. North Carolina, with their option, takes the opening kick in the second half, and they drive it out over the 30-yard line. Eric Blunt on the return, and he's brought down on the play by Tyron Muzan for Clemson, and this is where North Carolina opens up first and 10. As Todd Burnett comes out at the controls of the North Carolina offense. The ground game, with Eric Blunt's touchdown for 98 yards called back, certainly North Carolina's got to feel a little decent about that now.
Well, I think so. They've got to establish the line of scrimmage again. We've talked a lot about that today. They've got to establish that they're going to be able to rush the football against a real good front four for Clemson.
Belton in motion. Burnett to throw. Big rush is on. Simmons hits first, and he is brought to the deck by Rob Bodine back at the 20-yard line.
Rob Bodine. Now, there's a good story. He's a walk-on from North Dakota. He played freshman football there, played as a freshman at North Dakota. He's undersized, 6'1", 235. But I tell you, this kid, they call him an overachiever. He plays with all his heart. You see him just keep coming. He's like a mad dog. He just keeps coming, gets blocked, and he puts the hit on Todd Burnett.
Started the season second on the depth chart. That's the 4th sack of the day for Clemson, and he has moved his way into a starting position. Outstanding play by Rob Bodine. Second down and long, play action pass coming up. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Clemson, picked off. Levon Kirkland gets the ball and intercepts it for Clemson. A big turnover for the Clemson defense. Levon Kirkland has been in Todd Burnett's face all day.
Well, this is a sophomoric mistake right here. He comes up, he wants to throw the screen pass, a little play fake there to Blunt. He sees Kirkland right out there in the middle of the screen. He tries to ground the ball, but Kirkland makes an excellent athletic play on that ball. I think Todd Burnett's the most surprised guy in the world right now that he could make a catch like that. That is an excellent play by the outside linebacker for the Clemson Tigers, Levon Kirkland.
3rd interception of the year for Kirkland. Clemson immediately comes to the offense with a big break. Here's Henderson, and a nice hole right up the middle to the 13-yard line. Tripped up on the play by Cecil Gray. Henderson inside the 20-yard line to the 15, down to the 13-yard line. It's a nice gain on the play of about 6 yards. It'll bring up second down and 4.
What a big play there, Clemson defense.
They have tipped 3 balls so far this afternoon, and now they've picked off their first.
They threatened all afternoon.
Here's Henderson again to the 10, inside the 10, down to the 7. He's in the grasp of Cecil Gray down at the 7-yard line. Now we're getting another medical report on defensive back Torin Dorn of North Carolina. Dorn, we understand, complains of numbness in his hands. They've x-rayed his neck. He's okay. The x-rays were negative. But he is still experiencing the numbness in the hands. Torin Dorn, as you see him there, injured in the second quarter on a play near the Clemson sideline. The gain by Henderson is good for a first down. It's 1st and goal at the 7. Fletcher in motion. Pitch to Henderson. Looking for the corner. Cuts inside and gets to the 3. Joe Henderson stopped there by Timmons and also Dwight Hollier. And it's a gain on the play of 4 yards. Brings up second down and goal. Henderson, the workhorse here this afternoon, Steve, because Terry Allen has tested out that left knee again. He left limping, so they don't want to risk him.
Hobbled on that knee. Henderson took a shot on his elbow, but he's responded well. He's come back in, and he's carried the load for the Clemson Tigers today.
15 carries, 83 yards, and the first score of the game. Second and goal from the 3. Hall and Henderson the setbacks. This is Henderson. Touchdown, Clemson.
Power football right there.
Joe Henderson, his second touchdown of the afternoon, and Clemson takes advantage of the North Carolina turnover to punch one in from 3 yards out. Danny Ford breathing a little easier as his team had stalled offensively. They take advantage of the opportunity presented to them by Levon Kirkland's interception as Henderson goes to the sideline. And here comes Chris Gardocki for the extra point. Gardocki missed a 34-yard field goal attempt in the first half. There's his point after, though. It's true. His third of the day, his 30th of the year, and Clemson now on top here by a margin of 21-3 with 12:31 left to go. Let's see the touchdown again.
Here you see the touchdown again. This is just great offensive line play. You see the center do a great job of just moving people around. The fullback hammers up in there. Joe Henderson right behind him with the football for the score.
So from 4 plays out, the Tigers score after the interception, and they lead North Carolina with 12:31 left in the third, 21-3. We've talked a lot about North Carolina's defense, but Clemson's defense has repeatedly come to the forefront today and allowed people like Joe Henderson to score 2 touchdowns this afternoon. That one directly set up as a result of the defense, as Henderson goes in from 3 yards out at the 12:31 mark of the third quarter.
Steve, we've also talked an awful lot about the youth on North Carolina's football team, as they'll have 16 of their 22 guys that started today back next year, but Clemson's got 14 coming back next year, so that doesn't bode well either.
Felton fields the kick at the 9. Moving to his left and gets out there to the 27-yard line. Brought down on the play by Kenzel Jackson of Clemson, and that's where North Carolina will start. You saw the rushing stat. North Carolina dearly didn't want to have to come into this second half having to throw the ball, but down 21-3, they may not have much more choice from here on out.
Well, Clemson is going to make them beat them if they beat them throwing the football. They're going to take away the rush, and we saw that was indicated in the first half. They got to hit a few more big plays like they hit the one to Yawk early on.
Todd Burnett has Staples and Jordan behind him. This is Staples, or rather Jordan, and Levon Kirkland hollers him out at the 21-yard line. It's going to be a loss on the play of close to 6. Second down and 16 coming up, and Kirkland is having himself quite a ball game.
This is a good football play right here. He just refuses to get blocked on this. So 2 or 3 guys have a shot at him. You see him, he just plays off the block, makes the tackle.
So it's 2nd and 15. That's his 4th tackle, 5th tackle actually for loss thus far this season. Levon Kirkland, who has deflected 2 passes and intercepted another, and puts Todd Burnett in a passing situation. He passes to the flats. He wanted Albright. Ethan Albright, his tight end, who was nowhere close to the ball. Lott covering on the play for Clemson.
And Lott actually ran a better pattern than Albright on that one, and almost like he could have been the intended receiver there. That's kind of an ill-conceived play. They're trying to hit the tight end in the flat behind, with a little slant behind him.
North Carolina likes to run 3 wide outs, and they haven't been able to get that opportunity today because Julius Reese's ankle injury has really left them down to only 3 wide receivers. If you look at Todd Burnett. Burnett now 4 out of 10 after hitting his first 4. He's missed his last 6. There's Burnett scrambling to the left. Fires to the flats. Complete now to Blunt. And Blunt tries to dance away from the punt and the tackle. Gains a little bit of yardage out to the 29-yard line. Wayne Simmons is there to run him out. Here again, Blunt is a converted wide receiver to a running back.
Yeah, he's come on well. I think he's really taken the responsibilities of tailback and done a great job with the short period of time that he's played that position. He's going to be a kid who's going to develop as time goes on. He's getting some great experience here this year.
The early injury to Kurt Green forced that move, and now McAllister's in the punt. McAllister's booted some nice one, and this one's included in that book at the 33. Here's Lott. Lott brings his way out over the 41-yard line, and it's an 8-yard return of a 39-yard kick by Scott McAllister. And once more, for the 3rd straight time, Clemson will get excellent field position in the midfield area. The Tigers lead at 21-3 with 11:29 left. We pause for word from your local stations. You're looking at the 4th winningest Division I coach in the active ranks, Danny Ford, as he watches his offense on the field at its own 41-yard line. His team up 21-3, and here's a reverse to Doug Thomas. Gets a good block and support, going to midfield, and gets a nice gain close to the first down marker. Brought down on the play by Clarence Carter out of Toledo, Ohio. There you see Doug Thomas. Nicely conceived reverse.
Little razzle-dazzle here. Little option fake right there. He pitches it to the wide receiver coming around. Watch this KO block right here. Watch number 65, Bratton. Oh, boy. What a shot. Little stop-and-go move on the sideline. Didn't fool many folks.
But it got close to the first down. They say he's a yard short. It'll be 2nd and 1. Getting the first down is Henderson, and he's got more. Down to the North Carolina 37-yard line. Coming up to make the stop, Dwight Hollier. But it's going to be a nice gain on the play of about 12 yards. Make it 13. Nose of the football just inside the 38-yard line of North Carolina.
Watch Joe Henderson here. Take the handoff. He's a slasher. Watch how low to the ground he runs right here. Good moves right there. It's hard to get a beat on a guy like that. He's kind of cutting back and forth all the time.
He's got 100 yards on the day and 17 carries and a pair of touchdowns, and he gets the call again. And more yardage coming up for Henderson. Good enough for another first down. Down to the 26-yard line of North Carolina. They'll mark him for a gain of 11.
Well, the time of possession is starting to get down to the North Carolina Tar Heels. They've been out in the defensive pattern on the field a long time. Clemson had the ball for 8 more minutes in the half, and the first half than North Carolina did. And it just starts to wear you down after a while. There you see Mack is got a little concern going right now. Doesn't want this to turn into one of those blowouts.
It would be an interesting situation for North Carolina because in the games that they have had a tough time, they've turned the ball over. Today is not one of those cases, although they have one here. Here's Morocco over the middle, intended for Fletcher, and a flag has been thrown on the play at the 13-yard line. Possible pass interference against North Carolina. Rondell Jones they're looking at.
Well, this is real close. He might get a grab with the left arm here.
Defensive pass interference, spot foul, automatic first down.
Rod Daly making the call. Mack Brown not happy at all.
Let's take another look. Here's a little waggle pass. He comes out on the right side. He's trying to hit Fletcher coming across the field. Here, let's see if he grabs him with, yeah, there it is. A little grab with the left arm. I don't know, that's a pretty good defensive play. That's calling it pretty close.
Clemson gets the first down. Nose of the football now just inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. Pitch comes to Henderson. Cuts back and squirms his way down to the 12. A gain of 2. Tripped up on the play by Cecil Gray. Also coming up to make a stop for North Carolina, Dennis Tripp. 9:41 left to go in the third quarter. It is Clemson 21-3, and the Tigers are driving again. Blessed for the third straight time with excellent field position thanks to their excellent defense.
And the defense has really put them in a good situation all afternoon here. Timeout by North Carolina.
North Carolina has 2 remaining this half as they want to take a pause here to gather their thoughts on a key defensive series, staring at second down and about 7. So the Tar Heels gather around their defensive coaches as Clemson looks to advance a 21-3 lead with 9:32 left to go in the third quarter of play. We're in the third quarter. North Carolina trailing Clemson 21-3, and Clemson driving inside the North Carolina 15-yard line as Donnie Ford looks on. It's Tigers, and there you see it. Blind your eyes. That's a big job by the Clemson defense. And here's a play. Henderson goes to the 10-yard line. Henderson from the 12 down to the 10. It's going to be a gain of 2 on the play. Tommy Thigpen on the tackle for North Carolina. It'll bring up third down at about 5. As Mack Brown exhorts his defense to make yet another stand. They made a few this afternoon.
They really have. They've played well considering the amount of time they've spent out there on the field. They've made Clemson go the long haul most of the time.
Henderson and Hall the setbacks. Morocco calls his own number, then pitches to Henderson. Ball is loose, and it's picked up by North Carolina. Rondell Jones picks it up at the 3-yard line, and the Tar Heel defense cashes in on a break.
Here's the option play. See him come down the line, little belly fake. There's the pitch to Henderson. Good job of coming in and stripping the ball. An excellent job of getting on the football there, number 31. Super job of getting on the ball. Rondell Jones.
Each team has turned the ball over a piece. North Carolina's offense back out onto the football field. They've lost 4 yards this half. Down at their own 3, Todd Burnett at the controls. Here's Blunt. Blunt running room to the outside, quickly shuts down as he gets to the 5-yard line. Coming up to make the stop for Clemson is Dexter Davis. Also had some help by Ashley Shepard, the outside linebacker, playing in Levon Kirkland's spot, which has certainly been an active position this afternoon.
Guarantee you the Tar Heels are glad to see Kirkland out of the game.
He's deflected 2 balls. He's intercepted 1 that set up Clemson's last touchdown. North Carolina now with a football, 2nd and 8 from their own 5. Hand off, Blunt again. He's in trouble. Does not get back to the line of scrimmage, and Dexter Davis again comes up to make the stop. Help that time from Tyrone Simpson at the right defensive tackle spot, and what a play by Dexter Davis.
Well, that's the kind of play you love to see your cornerbacks be able to make right there. A little counter play. Dexter Davis is not fooled. He beats the block outside, comes up and makes a good shoestring tackle right there for no gain, maybe even a loss of a yard.
That's his 2nd tackle for loss this season. He's got 42 tackles coming into this game. The sophomore from Sumter, South Carolina.
Sumter, South Carolina, same hometown as Terry Kennard, who was a great Clemson Tiger.
Blunt comes the other way this time, and again, there's not much running room there. Mack Brown telling his quarterback, don't put the ball up in this territory. 3 downs and out, and the Tar Heels will be forced to kick, and they'll bring their punter, Scott McAllister, onto the field. No gain on the play. It'll be 4th down coming up at about 8.
Not a very popular decision here with the hometown folks. Choosing not to put the ball in the air.
Tar Heels are 1 out of 8 on 3rd down conversions, and they've lost yet another yard of total offense. McAllister's boot pushes Lott back to the 47. Change of direction by Lott, and he gets down to about the 39-yard line. It's a 45-yard boot by McAllister, a 7-yard return for James Lott, and yet once again, Clemson starts at good field possession in Carolina territory. Coming up next week, live from Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, it's the Duke Blue Devils entertaining the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Lots of ACC title hopes riding on that game, especially for the Blue Devils. NC State playing Virginia today. Duke playing Wake Forest at Grove Stadium this afternoon. Here comes the pitch, and it's going to be Reggie Lawrence. Gets himself down to the 36-yard line. Here's what's going on at Carter Finley Stadium. A pass interception for a touchdown plus a field goal has put Virginia up 10-6. Duke right now leading Wake Forest at Grove Stadium in Winston-Salem, 24-14. That's a first quarter score. Plenty of offense in that one.
State has to rally to make that the football's version of air ball next week. Montgomery and Billy Ray. SEC game of the week next week.
2nd and 7. And this is a new back into the ball game now for Clemson. That's going to be Tony Kennedy, backup fullback out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. As Chris Morocco on 2nd down decides to play the conservative route. They get it down to about the 33-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3 before J.R. Boulder pulls down Kennedy.
Clemson's showing their youth a little bit here right now. I think, Steve, they're failing to really put the knockout punch on North Carolina. They got them on the ropes, but they can't quite take them out. Young team, sometimes that has to be learned. You have to learn how to take people out when you got them down.
Big 3rd down conversion. You saw Lawrence in motion. Here's the pass. Morocco complete to Cooper at the 24. Nice pass by Cooper. By Morocco, put it right on the numbers.
It's a great throw. There's no defense for that. Cooper just goes down, does a little turnout to the outside. Morocco's right on the numbers with it. Here you see him, little sprint action. They do a good job of moving the pocket. Little short set. There's just no defense for that. Cooper right there. Morocco right there with the ball.
10-yard catch downfield. First pass completion of the 2nd half of the Tigers. They move the chains to the 23 of North Carolina.
The blitz.
Hand off. It is Henderson. Touchdown, Clemson.
Nobody home.
Everybody rushing, and Henderson rushed right by him.
Had a strong safety blitz on. The free safety was moved over to cover the tight end, and he hit the area that the free safety had to vacate on his coverage.
From 23 yards out, it's a touchdown that puts Clemson on top, 27-3. Gardocki on to tack on the point after. Henderson's 3rd touchdown of the day. The draw play against the blitz, perfectly planned by Clemson. Morocco to hold. There's the kick. It's up, and it is good. Clemson tacks on the extra point, and their lead is extended to 28-3 with 5:18 left in the 3rd. Let's see it again.
Can't see it in your picture, but on the right side of your screen, you might see the strong safety come in there. The free safety's moved over for his coverage, and Joe Henderson breaks the line of scrimmage, and the free safety is nowhere to be found.
And it is Henderson into the end zone to make it 28-3. Clemson on top in the 3rd quarter of play here at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. Clemson now moving strongly on top of North Carolina in this third quarter, 28-3, with 5:18 left to go at Carter Finley Stadium this afternoon. Things are turning in Virginia's direction. Jake McInerney will kick a field goal out of the hold, his second of the day. He's got that along with a pass interception for a touchdown, and that has put Virginia up on NC State by a score of 13-6. They are in the third quarter after that 26-yard kick. Kick now comes down to Felton for North Carolina at the 11 after the Clemson touchdown, and he is up in it. Brought down there at the 25-yard line. Tackle made on the play by Ryan. And Norris Brown on the tackle also for Clemson. We have received word that Torrin Dorn is back here at the stadium, and he is in street clothes along the North Carolina sideline, and that is certainly good news.
It is good news. We can all breathe a sigh of relief for him.
Dorn was injured. If you just joined us late, was taken from the field on a stretcher. X-rays proved negative. Todd Burnett at the controls. Down 28-3. Pass to the flats, complete to Felton. And it's going to be a pass that is going to be completed for 5 yards out to the 30-yard line. But Todd Burnett needed that pass completion.
Yeah, he really did. He's been struggling, and Felton really didn't help him out on this. Of course, he's a young fella. He's only a freshman. He's got to come back to the ball. He's throwing this ball about 30 yards in the air for about a 5-yard gain. He's got to really work his way back to the ball. He'll learn that. Mack will work with him on that, and he'll be an excellent receiver here for North Carolina.
It's his first completion in a while. He's 6 out of 12 after hitting his first 4. And there's a fumble on the snap. Burnett covers up at the 30-yard line. No gain and a burn of a down. Brings up third down for the Tar Heels.
That really hurts. You make one good play and come back and drop the ball on the ground. And of course, that's part of growing up in major college football right there. This young fella's going to be a good one. See him, you never know who to blame this on, but speaking from a quarterback standpoint, it's always the center's fault.
Why did I know you were going to say that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe
what a
I've
surprise.
Done that a time or two.
Third down and 5 for North Carolina. Burnett, flat pass, leads York downfield. And we have a flag? No. Mack Brown is really upset. He's going after the side judge on this one. And he's possibly claiming interference on the defensive back.
Yeah, Mack's saying right here that the defensive back pushed his receiver out of bounds, pushed York out of bounds, and didn't give him a chance to go get the football. And he wants a little holding or an illegal chug or something called. Mack just wants something to go his way for a change. It's all gone against him, bless his heart.
Right now, his team looking at fourth down, and Scott McAllister has been a bright spot this afternoon, keeping that league-leading punting average at a high. This time, he got a favorable roll after the kick, and it'll fall down at the 31-yard line. This is the deepest that Clemson has started to drive since midway through the second quarter. It's a 39-yard booth by Scott McAllister. And Clemson will take the football back. Mack Brown still hot after that non-call on the sideline that he felt that Joey York was interfered with on the pass attempt by Todd Burnett.
I believe Mack has a case. It's unfortunate when things are going as bad as they're going for you. You look for anywhere to find a break. That was not a great call for third down. He had one receiver. He had nowhere else to go. 3rd and 5. And he's trying to throw the ball deep. It just doesn't make any sense. They need first downs at this point in the game.
New quarterback in for Clemson, Deshaun Cameron, for his second tour of duty this afternoon. And he hands off to Reggie Lawrence. And Lawrence gets up over the 32-yard line for a gain of 1 at 2nd and 9.
Deshaun Cameron, quarterback. Reggie Lawrence.
Deshaun Cameron is probably the most perfect body for an option quarterback here. I think I really like the way this guy runs the option. 6 foot, 190 pounds, LaGrange, Georgia.
He's got the speed, and he is in the grass of Dennis Tripp. Thrown for a loss back to the 25-yard line.
Good play by Dennis Tripp right here. Comes off his block. You can't stand that close to the line of scrimmage for that long, Deshaun. You need to get back there. He's coming down the line again. It's that little fake, and he's coming down the line. You see him come through. Tripp comes through. You can't wait that close to the line of scrimmage for things to happen. You got to get your depth as a quarterback and get back and watch things develop downfield.
There's Dennis Tripp. And it's 3rd down and 14. That's a big defensive stop. Look at the yards rushing this afternoon.
300 to nothing.
Wow. Clemson defense pitching a shutout on the ground. Here's Lawrence. Flag down on the play. Ball squirts loose in the last minute as he went out of bounds at the 34. The flag is upfield at the 41-yard line. Lawrence on the 7-yard gain. Still has a bit to go, 9 yards more for the first down, and it's a holding call against Clemson.
Where that flag fell down, it must have been Chip Davis, the wide receiver downfield, holding.
Holding in the secondary.
Holding, offensive team, penalty declined, 4th down.
So North Carolina wants the football back, and they'll force Chris Gardocki to come in and kick. Gardocki has been the equal of McAllister this afternoon from the punting position. It's been a joy to watch these guys
really
kick.
Has. These guys have put on an exhibition for punting right here this afternoon.
I'm sure the coaches don't like to see these guys in here too often, but they appreciate what they do. Gardocki hangs one up. This one takes a North Carolina bounce, and it's down at the 34-yard line. A 33-yard boot.
They must be getting tired.
Well, they punted enough.
That's right.
And the change of possession gives North Carolina the football at the 34-yard line. This is their best field position since actually the first quarter of play as Todd Burnett comes out on the football field. He's thrown an interception thus far today. Laverne Kirkland's been in his face all afternoon. He's trying to get his offense back in a positive mode. The Tar Heels have 0 yardage on the ground. Felton in motion. Back to throw Burnett. Flat pass. It is complete to Eric Blunt. Great catch. The hesitation cost him yards, but he gets out of bounds at the 36-yard line. All of that for just 2.
It's a lot of play for only 2 yards right there. Need to force the ball down the field a little bit, start hitting in some of the seams. They're playing a deep zone defense. You see Todd come out. Sets well. Very deliberate release. It's a good play. He gets 2 catches for that one. Had to catch it twice.
The second catch cost him a little yardage. 2nd down and 8 now for North Carolina. At their own 36. Felton in motion. Burnett now throwing. Pressure by Simmons escapes. And it is incomplete for his tight end, Ethan Albright. Albright could have moved him toward the first down marker, but started to run before he had the football.
Really a tough situation to put a young quarterback in. This is where you kind of see what Todd Burnett's made of, what kind of metal he's made of. He's very, very difficult. There you see Torin Doran on the sideline. We're glad to see him up moving around.
He's not moving too quickly, but there is hope that he'll be back next week for the Tar Heels. That's a good sign for them. Doran has been a quality performer for them on defense this year. Outstanding individual for North Carolina. Mac Brown really sings his praises every time you talk to him. And Todd Burnett wants timeout. Timeout on the field with 2:05 left to go. North Carolina is going to check things over here. We're in the 3rd quarter.
Well, Clemson is playing that 2-deep zone defense right now, Steve, and the only way that they're going to be able to attack that is they got to get their tight end down off the line of scrimmage and down through that zone. They're not making any kind of a threat in the middle of the field at all. They're throwing a lot of little flat passes and things like that that are not going to get you much yardage against the style of defense that Clemson's playing right now.
3rd downs have been a problem for North Carolina. They've converted only 1 thus far this afternoon, and they're staring at 3rd and 8 here from their own 36-yard line, trailing by a score of 28-3. Joe Henderson has 3 touchdowns on the afternoon. Chris Morocco touchdown is the only thing to break that streak. 3 of the scores came in the 1st quarter. One by North Carolina on Clint Waltney's career-long field goal of 47 yards. Henderson has runs of 4, 3, and 23 yards in the afternoon around Morocco's 1-yard keeper late in the 1st quarter of play. The Tigers have scored twice here in the 3rd quarter. One of them set up by an interception by Laverne Kirkland that gave the Tigers the ball inside their own 25. North Carolina team, very young, making some key mistakes. They've had a 98-yard touchdown run called back because not of a holding penalty, not of an offside. They just didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. Syracuse now leading at the Carrier Dome over Boston College, 10-5. Eagles have struggled at 1-6 this season. Virginia Tech leading Vanderbilt by 9. 3rd down and 8, North Carolina. Burnett, cross field pass to his tight end, Ethan Albright, but he's not near enough for the first down out to the 41-yard line. It'll be a gain on the play of 6. It brings up a punting situation.
that kind of play is just, it's not going to work. They've got the two deep defense. They got both corners rolled up. The corner is sitting out there waiting for the tight end to come across the field. It's an ill-conceived play. You got to throw the ball down the middle of the field when you're playing against a two deep zone like that. You're going to get somebody hurt.
McAllister is back deep to punt yet again. Runs this one off the side of his foot. No return slated. Takes a North Carolina bounce inside the 20-yard line down to the 13-yard line. So a kick by McAllister of 45 yards sets Clemson up at their own 13.
Ball rolls in at the 13-yard line.
Second half yardage has been rather impressive in Clemson's favor, 189-7. And here's a score from Notre Dame Stadium. No surprise, it's the top-ranked Fighting Irish leading the Midshipmen of Navy 27-0. They're in the third at South Bend. Next week, we'll take you to Durham, and the Duke Blue Devils hosting the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Saturday at 12 noon on most of these stations. We hope you join us for exciting ACC football. Clemson with the football again, and coming out of it is Henderson with a marvelous day up over the 20-yard line. Brings it down to the 21-yard line. It's a gain of 9 on the play, brings up 2nd and 2.
Well, the only thing really in question at this point, Steve, is how many yards is this guy going to end up with? Joe Henderson, what an afternoon he's had. I'd be really surprised if he doesn't reach 200 yards with Allen hurt. I know they'd probably like to get him out of there and get Allen in there and kind of share the wealth a little bit, but this guy has really bore the burden today.
There you see his yardage. Touchdown runs of 3, 4, and 23. He's got the ball again and not much running room this time on 2nd and short. He's out to the 21, and Hollier is there to meet him for the stop. It'll bring up 3rd down. No gain on the play. This is Clemson's last ACC regular season game as Henderson retreats to the huddle.
Well, when things are not going well for you and you're struggling like the North Carolina program is right now, it seems like if anything can go wrong, it will, and that's kind of been indicative of the kind of season they've had. They've been in situations and had a chance to keep this a good football game, but they've let it get away from them here in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
They're letting Henderson get away from them right now as he gets out over the 30-yard line, knocked out of bounds at the 34. It's going to be a big gain on the play of 12 yards. It gets Clemson the first down, and it will bring the quarter to a close nearly. 5 seconds remaining in the 3rd. Let's take a look at the play again.
Let's watch the offensive line work here. You see him pull the right offensive guard. He's out there leading. He doesn't get much of a block on Thigpen, but he does enough to turn him around. You see, dragged down from behind. Joe Henderson has great speed. He's got that great outside quickness, and he's got a slashing style up inside.
Last play of the quarter. Reggie Lawrence has some running room, gets outside, and at midfield he's finally brought down by Tommy Thigpen. Larry Whiteside helps out on the tackle. It's a 17-yard gain for Clemson. They've got the ball at midfield as the 3rd quarter comes to a close. We're 3 periods deep into this one, and Clemson is deep over North Carolina by a score of 28-3. 4th quarter action coming right up. Stay with us. There's the score. Clemson leading North Carolina as we start the 4th quarter, 28-3. Steve Martin along with Steve Bartkowski at Chapel Hill. You're looking at the Clemson bench. You know, they talk about the youth about North Carolina and their hopes to sometime catch up to Clemson. That's not going to be easy to do.
It certainly won't be. Clemson's got 14 out of 22 starters today coming back.
Here's a long pass deep intended down there by Morocco for Gary Cooper, and that is not Gary Cooper. That's going to be another receiver in the ball game. That is Fernandez West, who tried to pick that ball up on a long bomb to start the 4th quarter from near midfield. Let's see it again.
A little reverse fake here. They come out, fake the little belly play, and they come out, fake the reverse. Now they got the split end running deep. He just outruns Chris Morocco's arm here. He's got about 3 or 4 yards on the defensive back. The ball's just a little bit underthrown. He makes a nice effort trying to come back and make a play on that ball.
Clarence Carter is there on defense as you look at Fernandez West. Nearly got in underneath that. Here comes Morocco. Pass is complete. This time it's Doug Thomas who snares it. Tackled by Rondell Jones at the 38-yard line. It's good for a first down.
Good throw there. A little surprised to see Clemson throwing the ball like this. 28-3 maybe is not enough for Denny to feel comfortable over there, but we were talking about their depth. They've got 14 out of 22 starters coming back next year, and they've got, you know, just indicative of that as you look at this play again. Indicative of that is a guy like Terry Allen goes down, Joe Henderson steps in, they run his wheels off today, and now they got Reggie Lawrence in there, who's having quite a day on his own back there.
They're also too deep in the fullback spot, too. This is Lawrence again. He gets out of a wrap-up and gets down to the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 2.
How do they say the rich get richer, Steve? Is that the
They
way
certainly
it
do.
works?
In Clemson's case, they have never had a poor period here
No,
in
they
the
really
80s.
haven't.
There's Virginia leading North Carolina State. A couple of Jake McInerney field goals and a pass interception for a return for a touchdown. Duke leading Wake Forest, having a basketball battle at halftime. It looks like. Wow,
My
52
gracious.
points in the first half, 31-21.
Call the airport. The flight is going to be late coming in. 31-21.
Eric Gash is the injured player on the field as we look at Georgia Tech leading over Western Carolina at halftime in Atlanta, 24-7, and Gash will leave the field under his own power. And this is a young man who's had an outstanding season. 4 sacks coming into today, 6 tackles for a loss, 1 pass broken up. He's recovered a fumble. He's just a sophomore from Hendersonville, North Carolina.
Getting bigger and stronger, maturing quickly. Had a chance to play a lot as a freshman last year, and his brother's Sam is a fullback at Penn State.
Yes, he is. Here's Morocco into the flats, complete to Fletcher. Gets away from this man, and he's headed west. Inside the 20, finally brought down by Timmons at the 16-yard line. It's a 20-yard gain on the play for Clemson as they drive once more for another score with 14 minutes left in the fourth.
It's a little down-the-line option again. Nothing fancy here. It just turns up, makes Larry Whiteside miss, and Timmons makes a good play coming from his inside linebacker spot to bounce it.
It's 28-3, Clemson over Carolina. 1st and 10. Handoff straight ahead to the fullback. That's Hall, gets it, or rather that is second back in there, Tony Kennedy. Tony Kennedy gets himself down to the 10-yard line, a 3-yard gain. 2nd down and 4. 6-yard gain, rather. As you look at Mack Brown. Clemson knocking on the door again, up 28-3. Pitch this time goes to Lawrence. Lawrence dips outside, carries his man inside the 5. Rondell Jones finally drove him out of bounds at the 2.
Reggie Lawrence picking up right where Joe Henderson left off. Does a good deal of this right on his own right here. They do a good job coming out. You see Jeb Flesh out front. Comes around, good block right there on Timmons. This is a good run here. Rondell Jones, he just lowers that shoulder and gets about 4 extra yards on his own down there near the goal line.
Reggie Lawrence. Jacksonville, Florida. 1st and goal from the 2. He gets the call again. Touchdown, Clemson. Clemson in for the score. They push into the 30s as Danny Ford looks on. Finally, a little bit more comfort in his look as he sees his team moving toward its 8th win. Let's take a look at the touchdown once again.
Almost a no contest here. Lawrence goes in, standing up. You see a great double team right there by the left side of the Clemson line. They just blow a hole open, and Lawrence just a walk in the park.
Well, Lawrence's 2nd touchdown of the year as Gardocki comes in for the extra point. Kick is down out of the hold of Morocco. It is good. And that's 5 point-after touchdowns this afternoon by Chris Gardocki. With 12:39 left to go in the football game, it's Clemson 35, North Carolina 3. Clemson leading North Carolina 35-3. Reggie Lawrence going in at the 12:39 mark. As you see him there on the Clemson bench, it's been a busy afternoon for Clemson running backs, and here's yet another rushing touchdown.
You see it again, another big double team on the nose tackle. Much doubt he was going to get that ball in the end zone.
Lawrence scores, and here comes the kick. Taken by Felton at the 13. Felton trying to judge the block of his up back that time to the 34-yard line. It's going to be a return of 21 yards and sets North Carolina out at their own 34-yard line. Let's take a look at the score from Raleigh. 29-yard field goal by Damon Hartman, his 3rd of the day. Gets State within 4 points of Virginia. That game at Raleigh. The lead at the top of the ACC at stake in that one. And, of course, nipping at their heels, Duke. And last look leading by 10 over Wake Forest. And, of course, Clemson is making a bid as well. Here comes Burnett. Burnett passes the flats. A nice one to Jordy Young. It's going to be complete at the 41-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7, maybe 8. Brings up second down and 2. It's the type of pattern, Steve, that North Carolina has tried throughout this second half with mixed results.
Yeah, they haven't been very successful. They're not going to be very successful because Clemson is in a pre-rotated zone defense. They've got those corners staying up outside, playing those wide receivers man-to-man. And here they have an opportunity to look at a little different defense. They ought to throw the ball.
Here's Blunt for the first down, then he fumbled. Fumble may be picked up by Clemson. It is. A turn of events, tragic for North Carolina after they had picked up the first down. The fumble.
Blunt was hit by Dorian Marable.
Picked up after Dorian Marable hit Blunt as he went across the 50-yard line. We did not see who recovered it, but Clemson has the football at the 50-yard line. So the Clemson offense returns to the field with 11:54 left to go in the fourth quarter. The Tigers are up 35-3. Fourth quarter action at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. It's Clemson trying to cash in on another North Carolina turnover. 35-3, the Tigers lead. Looked like Robert O'Neill was the one who picked up the fumble for Clemson. And here is Reggie Lawrence. He's already got a touchdown to his credit today out of the handoff from Deshaun Cameron. He gets ahead over the 50-yard line, and he's brought down at the 47. Tackle made by Dwight Hollier, who's collared a bunch of them this afternoon.
He really has. He's really playing hard. Mac indicated yesterday that he was proud of his young people, and even in the blowouts, they continued to play hard in spite of the circumstances, and you got to credit them for that.
And off to the fullback this time. This is Junior Hall. He has the first down at the North Carolina 40-yard line. It's going to be a gain of the play of 7 yards. Good hard running by Hall. Hall is yet one of many outstanding running backs. He's a freshman out of Gastonia, North Carolina.
You see that offensive line work up front. Super job. Hollier just like a bulldog, won't let go. He's got a hold of that leg. He's hanging in there playing good football.
First down for Clemson. And off Hall again. And Hall has some yardage down to the 38. Hollier and Tommy Thigpen are the men who will lay a shoulder to him to stop him after a 2-yard gain. And that'll bring up second down and 8 for the Clemson Tigers. 10:46 left to go in the football game. This series down through the years, Steve, has been one that has been full of emotion, especially through the 80s. It's been, and I've said this before, it's been a bellwether game. Usually the team that wins this, and for the most part it has been Clemson, has seen good things happen to it after. Lawrence on the carry. Up over the 35 down to the 34-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 4. It brings up a second or third down coming up at 4 yards.
No love lost between these two teams.
No, there isn't. There isn't. And I guess the big game between them, as we mentioned earlier, came in 1981 when North Carolina came into the game unbeaten. So did Clemson. Clemson won the contest 10-8 and went on to a national championship, winning in the Orange Bowl over Nebraska. Carolina that year went to the Blue Bonnet Bowl and won. But since then, the measure of each program's success has been pretty much attributed to this game. Lawrence tries to get himself outside, cannot. Cookie Massey is the man who tripped him up the backfield, the freshman out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. Brought down at the 35-yard line. It's a loss of 1. Virginia has scored again, and let's see it at Carter Finley Stadium. Herman Moore from Sean Moore. This happens every week in Virginia.
You knew it had to happen. Just a matter of when.
He's a great target to throw at, and the point after makes it 20-9, and that's 9 touchdowns for that young man. That's a record for Herman Moore of the Virginia Cavaliers. And they lead North Carolina State 20-9. A big game as Virginia vying to go 5-1 in the ACC and take a toehold at its possible first ever ACC football title. A delay of game penalty now whistled against the Clemson Tigers. And it brings up fourth down. It was 4th and 6. It becomes 4th and 11. With 9:06 left to go, Danny Ford roams the sidelines. His small concern is maybe the lack of continuity of his offense, but his defense has been outstanding, and his ground game offensively has been very strong.
They declined the penalty, give him a little less field to work with to try to kill it out of bounds.
John Kubu is in the game, a new punter in here for Gardocki, and he's got plenty of leg and then some. Nearly kicked it into the field house.
John, what are you thinking about there, John?
35-yard kick. Someone just wanted to air it out and see how it felt. So he gets it. And North Carolina now has the ball back at the 20-yard line in the fourth quarter. Down 35-3. The Clemson Tigers firmly in command. And we'll be back with more from a sunny day at Chapel Hill right after this. Clemson leading North Carolina 35-3. They've exploded here in the second half after taking a 14-3 halftime edge. North Carolina has the football back again. Todd Burnett at the command. His own 20. He's scrambling for his life. Will not get away. Fumbles the football. And it looks like North Carolina is going to get it back at the 15. But all kinds of pressure brought to bear. Simpson is the first man to get to the scene.
Well, they're just pinning their ears back here, Steve, and just kind of happy hand grenades. McLaughlin there, you see him in there, and he's one who gets the strip. It makes it tough when you know you got to throw the football. You're young, not so mobile quarterback. You made a few mistakes back there. You have not had a great day, and here they come. Boy, it's like, who opened the gates?
Danny Sizer put the pressure on as well. Second down and 15. Burnett throws to the flats. It is complete. Complete to Brooks, his first reception of the day, out to the 24-yard line. Still going to be shy of the first down. It's going to be a gain of about 10 on the play. Make it 9, and that'll bring up 3rd and 6. Brooks, one of 3 wide receivers available to the Tar Heels this afternoon. That's because of Julius Reese's ankle injury, so they've tried to patch things up with Joey Yock, Bucky Brooks, and Randall Felton.
Real thin and some very young numbers at wide receiver for the Tar Heels.
3rd down and 6. Burnett to throw again. Out to the flats once more. This is Felton. Curls around the first down marker and gets it out to the 33-yard line. So it's a first down. Muzan is in on the stop for Clemson, and let's take a look at the play again.
It's a good throw here by Todd Burnett. Good pattern, nothing real fancy here. It just goes down about the first down markers. Now he needs to come back to this football, and I think he's going to learn that as he grows as an ACC football player. He's going to learn that you can't stand there stationary at where you make your turn. Somebody's going to drill you. He needs to help his quarterback out by working back toward him.
Gets a first down, 1st and 10 at the 33. Burnett, big rush on. Simmons is there to sack Todd Burnett. Boy, he was lucky to hold on, Steve, because he didn't see that coming at all. Wayne Simmons with a 5th sack, and that now makes Clemson the sack leader as a team in the ACC.
Yeah, that one hurt me. I don't even like to see this. I mean, they don't even account for Simmons here. And you see him, he sizes up that 15, and he puts that bike right on the back of that 5 right there. And Todd Burnett kind of wobbles back up. I'll tell you, that man's got a little show in him there. Simmons, I think he's getting a little rebuke from the referee as he trots off the field.
He's a freshman, and he's a good one. He backs up John Johnson at that bandit back position. Bandit end.
He's getting a little, he's in front of the man himself over there. Danny didn't like that little cheer he led over there in front of the Clemson cheering section.
And I'm sure he was appreciative of the play of Simmons, but not what followed, of course, as you said. We have a timeout with 6:55 left to go in the fourth quarter of play. It is Clemson leading North Carolina here, 35-3. The Tar Heels are faced with 2nd and many, many yards to go. We'll be back with the next play from scrimmage right after this. Back at Chapel Hill, Steve Martin with Steve Bartkowski. Clemson all over North Carolina with 6:55 left to go in the fourth quarter, 35-3. Tar Heels have the ball, looking at 2nd and 17 from their own 26. Sophomore Todd Burnett calling the signals. Takes one screen, goes to Blunt on the other side. Blunt cutting up field, and he gets his way out to about the 35-yard line. Still 8 yards short of the first down. It's going to be a gain of 9.
You see Todd Burnett drop back, sets up the screen pretty well here, looking right. Little fake there, coming back, dumps it off to Blunt. This guy's a good football player right here. He's gonna have a lot of exciting moments down here on this field. It's a good call. They've been pinning their ears back and coming after you. Screen pass is a good call in this situation.
3rd down and 7. Carolina trailing 35-3. Back to throw Burnett. Burnett looking down, throws into a crowd intended for Felton. Ball is knocked away by Mouzon. Jeter also covering on the play.
Broken up by Tyron Mouzon.
And let's take a look at our most valuable players of the game. Our Schick most valuable players this afternoon. Joe Henderson of Clemson, 25 carries, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That carry total is a career high. Dwight Hollier for North Carolina, 4 solo tackles, 8 assists, and he caused a fumble. Punt coming up, Scott McAllister to kick it away. McAllister's kick is not going to be fielded. It's going to be rolling dead inside the 20-yard line. As part of the Schick Most Valuable Player Award Scholarship Program, Schick will donate $1,000 to the Atlantic Coast Conference to be distributed among the member institutions under a conference-approved plan. The new Schick Slim Twin Razor System. It reaches every place on every face. And there's one of our most valuable players today, Joe Henderson. A career high yardage mark of 3 touchdowns on the day. Dwight Hollier on the other side of the football. He's out on the field right now.
Big game for Joe. Getting some congratulations there on the sidelines.
Michael Carr is in at quarterback now for Clemson. As the Tigers now wait out a win. Carr calls his own number. A nice run upfield, 23-yard line. It's going to be the final result of the play. It's an 8-yard gain. Michael Carr.
This guy is quick. Michael Carr.
From Amite, Louisiana. Saw his first action, as you see there, against Wake Forest a week ago.
Looked like somebody sped up the film right there. Michael Carr stepped in there.
Clemson 2nd down and 2. Carr back the other way. And he is close to a first down out over the 25. Looks like he's got it at the 26-yard line. Coming in on the tackle is Randy Parsons for North Carolina. Another bright spot for North Carolina this afternoon, outside of Dwight Hollier, has been Scott McAllister. 9 punts for 44 yards as Carr retreats to the huddle for Clemson.
Blew a tire on that one. Lost one of his Nikes. Scrambling to get his shoe back on.
The future is certainly very bright for Clemson. Not that the present is very dark for them. They're certainly having an outstanding year and a great day today against North Carolina. Carr hands off, fullback. This time Kennedy up over the 35 and takes a herd of people to bring him down at the 36-yard line. Dennis Tripp leading the charge. Parsons in there as well for North Carolina, along with Clarence Carter. But a nice gain on the play of close to 10 yards for Tony Kennedy.
The pieces all seem interchangeable for Clemson, don't they? It just doesn't really matter who's got their hands on the football, who's doing the blocking. They do a super job. They're just an extremely well-coached football team. This man is, I think, the 4th most winningest coach in active football coach in the game today.
He's on the verge of winning his 94th game as a coach at Clemson in 11 years. Excellent staff behind him. Kennedy got very close to the first down, but not enough. So 9 yards on the gain by Kennedy.
9 yards.
Mac Brown trying to see light at the end of the tunnel right now. This Tar Heel team about to lose the 18th game under his command in 2 years.
Real frustrating for Mac. You know, I mean, he's made a commitment. He's made a 4-year commitment here, and he's gonna. This is only his 2nd recruiting class, and I think that the people are bearing with him here. He's going to build a good program here at North Carolina.
A lot of them, those young men, are getting a lot of experience here.
It's a great experience.
Wow. Cecil Gray just set Tony Kennedy back in the backfield. And they're going to be forced back out over the 34-yard line, and it's going to be a loss on the play. Now they'll mark him down to the 35. Gray had a better chance of the handoff than Tony Kennedy did.
He almost took it. This Gray is an excellent football player. He 2nd team All ACC last year. You see him there. Not a very good read on the option there by Mr. Carr. He should have pulled that one out.
Gray almost transferred. Wanted to go to UCLA. When the coaching change came about, Mac Brown went to his house, personally re-recruited him. Said, stay through the spring and we'll see what happens. And he stayed. Clemson has the first down.
He's become a real leader, too, on this young-laden football team.
Bolin on the carry for Clemson. And they get the first down out over the 41-yard line. Clock moving, 3:44 left. Doug Bolin in on the carry. He's running out of the tailback position behind Tony Kennedy. Gets the pitch again. Up near midfield out to the 45-yard line. Brought down by Parsons. Next week it's on to Durham. North Carolina State taking on Duke at Wallace Wade Stadium, and you'll see it at high noon. A battle with heavy ACC football title implications. That's why Virginia beating NC State by a score of 20-9 in the third quarter, but Duke is a winner right now here at halftime, 31-21, and Duke may be vying for its piece of the pie. Second down and 7. Carr fakes, calls his own number, and gets to midfield. Be marked down at the 49-yard line, tripped up by Tommy Thigpen. Shy of the first down by about a yard. It'll be a 5-yard gain for Michael Carr.
Michael Carr is as quick as the hiccups out there. I tell you, he makes a move and he makes things happen in a hurry.
Saw a little taste of action in Clemson's most impressive victory over Florida State early. He got one series near the end of the ball game. His first substantial play came against Wake Forest last week, a game in which Clemson scored the first 7 times they touched the football. Third down and 3. Here's Carr, tucks it under, has the first down in North Carolina territory at the 46-yard line. 2:16 remaining. Clock stopped momentarily while they'll move the chains. Clemson leading 35-3. The scoring summary: Joe Henderson 3 times this afternoon, from 4 yards out, from 3 yards out, and from 23 yards out. Chris Morocco added a touchdown, and Reggie Lawrence added a 5-yard touchdown run. All of that sandwiched around a lonely Clint Waltney field goal of 47 yards. And there's your score, 35-3. Clemson leading, and here's Bowling. Tries to turn the corner. Gets denied out there by Tommy Thigpen and Dwight Hollier. A 2-yard gain on the play brings up second down and 8.
Thigpen and Hollier still playing hard out there.
There's Joe Henderson done for the day, but very satisfied with his showing. 165 yards, 3 touchdowns. Playing in place of Terry Allen, who played a couple of series but appeared to be on the verge of re-injuring that left knee. So rather than take any chance, turn it over to the guy who can get it done, and that is Joe Henderson. Here comes Carr, and he hands off to Bowling. That's going to be Eves, the fullback, getting the carry, and we have a flag thrown in on the play at the 43-yard line. Right in the middle of everything. And it looks like it's going to be a personal foul.
A little frustration coming out there.
Now it's time for the option play of the game, brought to you by Option Gray Coverage for Men, the advanced way to get rid of the gray. Let's take a look at the pass in the first half that set up Clemson's second touchdown. This is going to be Chris Morocco. He's going for Gary Cooper, and Torrin Dorn almost had himself an interception.
He really did. You see him go up and make a good swat on the ball. He tries to hit it with his right hand to try to come back and make a play on it, but there it comes right into the hands of Gary Cooper.
Score at the time was 7-3, and 4 plays later, Clemson would be in the end zone, 14-3. Right now they're leading 35-3, and Carr calls his own number and gets set back to about the 30-yard line, a loss of 3 on the play. But the clock is moving, and we're down to the final 30 seconds. This afternoon's contest here at Chapel Hill. Clemson leading comfortably, and they're moving on to their 8th win of the season and their 5th win in ACC play. They will finish their ACC play this season at 5-2. 14 seconds left. Last play of the game is Michael Carr goes out under center. Eves and Bowling, his setbacks. 4 seconds, 3, 2, and he'll let time run out, and the football game ends. The Clemson Tigers have moved out in front and have taken North Carolina for the 8th time this decade, beating the Tar Heels by a score of 35-3 at Kenan Stadium here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Jonathan Hall, who was a hero 4 years ago, didn't get into today's action with the injured shoulder. We now pause for a word from your local stations.